So, dear students, so today our topic is anatomy and physiology of pancreatic gland. So, regarding the pancreatic gland, it consists of both part, exocrine as well as endocrine. So, already we learned regarding the exocrine part from the chapter that is a anatomy and physiology of the digestive systems. Okay, so today we discuss regarding the endocrine part of the pancreatic gland. So regarding the structure, so the pancreatic gland, it is located in the abdominal cavity just below the or behind the stomach. That is the exact location of the pancreatic gland. So the pancreatic gland, it is elongated or it is long about 12 to 15 centimeter. It consisting of the head, body and as well as tail. So it is just located posterior to the stomach with its head and curve is touches to the duodenum. So dear student, the pancreas is considered as the mixed gland because it is acts as a both exocrine so as well as the endocrine gland because it can secrete the digestive enzyme. So those are required for the digestions of the food in the duodenum or small intestine or in the GIT. Okay, so that due to that actions of the pancreatic gland, it is considered as the exocrine gland, and as well as the pancreatic gland, it can secrete the hormones like insulin, hormones like glucagon. So they secreted their secretions directly into the our blood without any pores. For example, the exocrine, so it can secrete the that is the salivary pancreatic amylase or bicarbonate, dipeptidase, tripeptidase, trihalase. So that is regarding the pancreatic lipase. So these are the digestive enzymes. Okay, so that was secreted into the duodenum. One pore is present, certain channels are present. So in the duodenum, so that pores is helpful for the secretions of the digestive secretion from the pancreatic gland. So due to that reason, the pancreatic gland is known as the exocrine gland. But also certain hormones like insulin, glucagons, so they are directly secreted into the our blood without any ducts. Okay, and those two hormones, so they are involved in the metabolisms as the aim of the endocrine systems. So they work under the endocrine systems, so then they are involved in the to facilitate the metabolism of carbohydrates, protein, fats, even minerals. So due to secretions of insulin and glucagon, the pancreatic gland is considered as the endocrine glands. So as the exocrine gland, the pancreas secrete the digestive enzyme into the pancreatic duct. So that was opens in the duodenum just below the stomach. Okay, so that is the locations of the pancreatic ducts through which only the there is a pancreatic secretion regarding the exocrine part hormones or enzymes, so they are secreted. Okay, so and the endocrine, so they are secrete their hormones directly into the blood. So when the blood is visited to the our pancreatic gland, so this pancreatic gland undergo the exocytosis process. So that process is helpful for to pour the secretions, okay, into the our blood or under the influence of the plasma concentrations of blood regarding the sugar. So when the sugar level was increases in the plasma or in the blood, so that increased blood when it was visited to the that is the endocrine parts of the pancreatic gland. So were, so that pancreatic gland, it was involved in the secretions of the insulin. So when the sugar level was decreases, so on that time it was involved in the secretions of the glucagon that was mainly depending upon the signal from the glucose. So that was present in the plasma. So that was present in the blood. So according to plasma concentrations of the sugar or carbohydrates or glucose. So these endocrine parts of the pancreatic gland, so that was involved in the secretions of the hormones by exocytosis process. So only about 1% of total weight of the pancreatic gland, so that was the endocrine gland. Okay, suppose if the pancreatic gland is a 100 gram, so among only 1 gram of that pancreatic part or pancreatic gland, it is work or it is considered as the endocrine part, that is only 1%. So the portions which is comes under the endocrine systems or endocrine part, so of that pancreatic gland is known as the islets of the Langerhans. Okay, that was known as the islets of Langerhans. So these islets of Langerhans, it can consist of the around, that is 2 lakh to 20 lakhs of the islets of the Langerhans, and the islets of Langer is consist of the different type of the cells. Especially it was consist of the alpha cells, beta cells, as well as the delta cells, and as well as it can consist of the PP cells. So regarding the alpha cells of the islets of the Langerhans, so it was involved in the secretions of the glucagons. So glucagon, it is also the pancreatic hormones secreted from the islets of the Langerhans. So that islets of Langerhans, it was consist of the alpha cells. So those alpha cells, so those are secrete the glucagon, and this glucagon is responsible for to increase the blood sugar level. It means, so when the blood sugar level was decreases, so that decreased blood sugar level or hypoglycemic conditions in the blood, so that blood when it is visited to the alpha cells, or when the pancreatic gland, it can got the information or signals from the cerebral cortex, so then the alpha cells of the pancreatic gland, it was involved in the secretions of the glucagons. Then the glucagon, it was mainly acts on the liver, where they can enhance the breakdown of glycogen, or that glucagon is acts on the GIT, so where it can enhance the absorptions of the glucose from the blood. So due to these two mechanisms, so that glucagon is responsible for to increase the blood sugar level that was decreases. Because so decreased blood sugar level, it was responsible for to cause of the one condition, so that condition is known as the hypoglycemic shock or hypoglycemic conversions. So due to hypoglycemic conversions, so there is a chance of the death. So that's why you should be always monitor the diabetic patients. So regarding your patients or your family members or friend circles, so those are the diabetic patients. Because the diabetic patient, so they can take the anti-diabetic drugs, and those anti-diabetic drug, so their function is to decrease the blood sugar level, because the diabetic mellitus means to increase the blood sugar level more than normal. So normal blood sugar level is, that is 100 and 110 to 120, that is in the fasting. The fasting blood sugar shows beyond the 80 to 120. If it is that, okay, it is considered as a normal blood sugar level. So after postprandial, it should be, that is after eating, postprandial means it should be less than 170 mg per deciliters. Okay, if it is more than that in the both conditions as compared to normal range, so that was considered as the diabetes mellitus. So then the doctor, they prescribe the medications, and your patient is also following your counseling points regarding which food can be avoided, which food can be taken, so they can enhance the insulin like activities. So then those food also decrease the blood sugar level. So there is a chance of the hypoglycemic shock or convulsions. So there is a chance of the death in the diabetic patients or coma in the diabetic patient due to decrease the more blood sugar level by took of the anti-diabetic drug. So that's your work is always once a week in the starting. So when the patients were detected diabetics, in the starting 1 month or 2 months, 5 months, 6 months, you should be take the follow up. That is also your work. So that's why in the counseling parts of the clinical pharmacist, so they should be have the knowledge regarding the local languages. If you are working in the Maharashtra means you should be fluent in the Marathis and as well as in the Hindi. Okay, for such people only, so they are preferred. So that's why. So nowadays onward, you should be learn more and more and more languages. It is helpful for to work the throughout the India, or it is helpful for to work in the big hospitals. Okay, like a Bridge Candy or many are there. So where the throughout the India, throughout the world, so their people they will be enter there to take the treatment. For those people they know, some people they know the English, some people they know only Hindi, some people they know the Marathi or Kannada or many other local language. Whatever language is possible to you learn, you should be build up. That is also to increase your patient counseling skill. So here it is your consent. You can monitor blood sugar level. If it is decreases means given due to therapy, there is chance of the mortality. So that should be you avoid by giving the solutions or by giving the once again when they are having the sweating or mental cloudness after taken of medication, it is indicates the blood sugar level decreases more than normal. So same condition is occurs any abnormality in the body, so that is the decrease of blood sugar level. So automatically, so that was detected by our brain or chemoreceptors in our blood. So they are involved in the secretions of the glucagon from the alpha cells. Okay, so that released glucagon, it was responsible for the increase the blood sugar. It means the glucagon release also depending upon the plasma sugar level or blood sugar levels. So the isolates of the pancreatic gland, it is also consist of the another cell that was known as the beta cells. So beta cell, it can secrete the hormone that was known as the insulin. So insulin was released when the blood sugar level was increases more than the normal. So that increased blood sugar level, so that was when they visited to the beta cell, then they can alter the polarizations. Okay, so they can due to entry of the glucose into the beta cell, so they can cause the depolarizations. Okay, due to alterations in the concentrations of the potassium. So due to that phenomena, the beta cell they can release the insulin. So that released insulin is acts on the GLUT receptors or insulin receptors. So those are present on the each and every cells. Okay, especially in the muscle cells or normal cells and as well as in the liver cells. So where the insulin, it can enhance the utilizations of the glucose, and finally insulin, it can decrease the blood sugar level. So like that the alpha cells and beta cell, they secrete the glucagon and insulin. So these are the two hormones from the pancreatic gland. So those are involved in the regulations of the blood sugar level. So our pancreatic gland, or it is our isolates of the Langerhans, it is also consist of the another cell that was known as the delta cell. So dear students, so this delta cell, it was mainly involved in the secretions of the somatostatins. So already you know regarding the somatostatin is also considered as the anti-growth hormones. It can inhibit the growth. Okay, by inhibiting the release of the growth hormone from the pituitary gland, or it was acts on the JT where it can inhibit the absorptions of the micronutrients after digestions. So due to lack of absorption of the food from the intestine or JT, the growth can be stunted. So due to that reason, the somatostatin is known as the anti-growth hormone. So regarding the another cell that is known as the PP cell is also known as the, in some book, that is known as the Yep cells. So these cells, so they are mainly secrete the pancreatic polypeptide. So this pancreatic polypeptide, it was mainly involved in the regulations of the digestive secretion and GIT motility. And also the PP, it is acts as the switch between alpha cell and beta cell. According to the plasma concentrations of the glucose, it can activate the alpha cells and it can activate the beta cell, or over activations of the beta cell, it can suppress the release of insulin or release of glucagon. And as well as somatostatin, it can suppress the release of the insulin from the pancreatic glands or from the beta. So like that, the pancreatic gland, it was mainly consist of the 4 type of cell, that is alpha cells secrete the glucagon, it was helpful for to increase the blood sugar level, and beta cells, it can secrete the insulin, that was helpful for to decrease the blood sugar level, and delta cells, it can secrete the somatostatin, so that can inhibit the release of glucagon as well as insulin. And the PP cell, so those are secrete the pancreatic polypeptide, it can regulate the GIT motility as well as it can regulate the functions of the alpha cells and as well as the beta cells. So now we learn regarding the physiology or functions of the pancreatic hormones. First one, glucagon. So glucagon, it was mainly secreted from the alpha cells as well as it was stored in the alpha cells, and also it was secreted from the alpha cells. So that glucagon is always reduced. So when the blood sugar level is less than normal, it was less than 60 mg per deciliter. So on that time only the glucagon was released. So that released glucagon, it can stimulate the glycogenolysis in the liver as well as in the adipose tissues. So in the liver and in the adipose tissues, so where the excess of glucose is stored in the form of the glycogen. So due to under the influence of the glucagon, it was caused the breakdown of the glycogen. So that process is known as the glycogenolysis. And glucagon is also, it can enhance the gluconeogenesis, that is the formations of the glucose from non-carbon as well as by utilizing certain amino acid. So that glucagon, so it was involved in the to increase the blood sugar level by enhancing the gluconeogenesis. So like that, the glucagon, it was helpful for the regulations of the blood sugar level. So next one is the insulin. Insulin also considered as the hormones of the pancreatic gland. So insulin, it was mainly secreted from the beta cells, and as well as the insulin, it was stored in the beta cells, and also it was secreted from the beta cells itself depending upon the plasma sugar level or blood sugar level. So when the blood sugar level is increases, it can alter the membrane potential. Okay, so due to alteration in the membrane potential, the beta cells, so they are involved in the secretions of the insulin into the our blood. So this released insulin, it is having the completely opposite function to the glucagon. It was helpful for to decrease the blood sugar level, and also it can work the or it can oppose the actions of the glucagon. So the glucagon, it can enhance the glycogenolysis, but insulin, it can enhance the glycogenesis, that is the synthesis of the glycogen from excess of the glucose. And as well as the glucagon, it can stimulate the gluconeogenesis, and insulin in the liver and adipose tissues, it can inhibit the gluconeogenesis. So like that, the insulin is always helpful for to decrease the blood sugar level up to the normals. So other effect of insulin is the insulin, it can increase the glycogen synthesis. The insulin is also increase the fatty acid synthesis. The insulin is also increase the esterifications of the fatty acids, and also insulin can involved in the proteolysis, it can decrease the proteolysis, that is synthesis of the proteins, and also it is decrease the lipolysis, the breakdown of the lipid, and also it can decrease the gluconeogenesis, the formations of the glucose from the non-carbohydrate source, and also the insulin, it can decrease the autophagy. Autophagy means natural cell death. If any malfunction cell was generated, means so that was die with the help of the another neighboring cells. So another neighboring cell, so it can eat the damaged cell. So that phenomena, one cell can distract the malfunction cell, neighboring malfunction cell, and it can digest that cellular component of the malfunction cells are simply cancerous cells. Okay, so like that, so that malfunction cancerous cells, so that was removed because the cancerous cells rapidly they are generated in our body, but rapidly, so they are removed from our organs or in the body by the process of the autophagy. Autophagy nothing but one cell, that is stronger cell or complete cell, can destruct the weak cell or it can eat the weak cell. So that phenomena is known as the autophagy. So this autophagy is helpful for the human beings to prevent the generations of the cancer or productions of the cancers. But here the insulin, it can inhibit the autophagy. It means directly, indirectly, the diabetic patient, so those are use the insulin for treatment of the type 1 diabetes, definitely somewhere, so in their body the cancer cells are produces. It means definitely they will be in the future, so they are suffering from the cancer. So that's why you should be taking the precautions, so where you are using the insulin. Okay, so where we can need to normalize the homeostasis by giving the antioxidants or multivitamins, and as well as the certain natural antioxidants like vitamin E, vitamin C. Okay, then also the insulin, it can increase the amino acid uptake, increase the potassium uptake, as well as it can alter the arterial muscle tone, then increase the secretions of the hydrochloric acid by the parietal cells in the stomach. So that was beneficial for the digestion, or that secreted hydrochloric acid, it was participated as the cause of the peptic ulcer by use of this insulin. So these are the various physiological effect by a insulin. So next one is the somatostatin. It is also considered as the anti-growth hormone. So that somatostatin, it was mainly released from the delta cells of the isolates of the Langerhans. It was mainly inhibit the growth hormone release from the pituitary gland, as well as it can inhibit the release of glucagon and insulin, and also it can show the various physiological effect. So in the brain and pituitary gland, it can inhibit the release of growth hormone, as well as it can inhibit the release of certain neurotransmitters like a noradrenaline, dopamine, CRH, corticotropic releasing hormone, then TRS, thyroid releasing hormone, then TSH and growth hormone. That is the thyroid stimulating hormone, and GS stands for the growth hormones. So in the eye, it can inhibit the, there is a VEGF, there is a vascular endothelial growth factor. It was involved in the regulations of the visions. So that is the rhodopsins is a one type of proteins that was involved in the regulations of the visual memory or vision. So that rhodopsin physiology, that was mainly depending upon the VEGF, that is vascular endothelial growth factors. And this somatostatin, it can inhibit that factor, it means it can alter the visions. And also in GIT, it can reduce the secretions of gastrin, secretin, gastric acid, motoline, CCK, enteroglucagon, VIP, pepsin, GIP, neurotensin, intrinsic factors, and bile. So these all are hormones. So those are involved in the regulations of the gastric motility. So that motility was helpful for the digestion and absorptions of the food in the GIT. So due to that inhibitions of this hormone, so that somatostatin, it can inhibit the digestion as well as absorptions of the food from the GIT. Due to that reason, it can show the anti-growth hormone activity. So next one regarding the pancreas. So in the pancreas, it can decrease the release of glucagon, insulin, as well as pancreatic peptide, that is the PP. Okay, so in the adrenal glands, it can inhibit the secretions of the medullary catecholamines and as well as the aldosterons. Okay, so it can inhibit the release of catecholamines and as well as aldosterone. So these are various physiological effect of the somatostatins.